What's up, good people, and welcome back to my channel, where we bond over our favorite TV shows, trending topics, and everything in between that we care about. So today I am back once again, still pushing through the sinus infection, but we have a lot of breaking information, updates that I need to give you guys on this United States versus James Timothy Norman trial for the M for Hire plot against his very own nephew, Andre Montgomery. And there's just a lot to put out there. And so the last video wasn't too bad, so I'm gonna power through to get another video out to you guys, and hopefully you can understand me. But today what I wanted to go over was something that came out a few weeks ago, actually, which was the fact that Andre had actually been communicating or had text message exchange with Miss Robbie Montgomery. And in those messages, he actually shared with her his fears about returning to St. Louis. And so we actually have those messages now. So I wanted to go over that, as well as the fourth motion from the United States in this particular trial. So this fourth motion is in regards to them trying to present the evidence of Andre's text message exchange with Miss Robbie as it pertains to days before his life was taken. And so as of August the 22nd of 2022, Tim Norman and his attorneys were trying to have the text message exchange between Andre and Miss Robbie removed from the trial. And so the United States attorney's positions is that they're not trying to state this as fact, but they're trying to present this evidence as proof of Andre's state of mind, his intent, his motive, and his plans for why he was actually in St. Louis, which also aligns with other case law that they provided as examples during this brief. So with that, let's get into the actual text messages, because I know that's what many of you really want to hear and really want to see, and as well as me, because this is my first time actually reading them. So it states here, on June of 2015, Andre had a series of text message communications with his grandmother, Robbie Montgomery. They were preserved on his mobile phone. On June 29th of 2015, the following exchanges occurred. Okay, so it starts with Ms. Robbie. Her text message says, "Call me, Robbie, so you can take the test. Now the police wants to talk to you. They are waiting. I think you're playing games, but I hope you never need me again. I called you right back and you didn't answer. If you're not guilty, why are you running?" So as we see here, Miss Robbie is reaching out to Andre. She's trying to get him to come to St. Louis because of the fact that they're still trying to figure out who broke into her home. Andre is supposed to come for a polygraph test so that he can prove that he had nothing to do with the break-in. Okay, and so next we have Andre's reply. I can just tell by struggling through Ms. Robbie's a little bit and looking ahead that the way they text is a little gonna have me struggling. So it's not my reading, it's this, but I'm gonna try to power through it as best I can. So Andre says to Ms. Robbie, "What are you talking about? Ain't nobody running from nothing. I haven't even been in y'all's way. That's why I've been out of town, cause you don't believe me, and I'm not about to get hurt from nobody for some shit I didn't do, but no, I'm not in town. I said that cause I don't know who all around you. I'm telling you, no, Tim is after me or something. I didn't do nothing. I don't have nothing to do with any of this. I haven't even been on that side of town, but I see you not doing nothing unless they question me first. Like I said, Grandma, I'm not running. I just don't want to, hurt, and I know what Tim is able of doing, and I don't want nothing to do with whatever he got going on. And my phone was dead. I'm just now cutting it on." So this this is just giving me a lot of new perspective. And I heard about this. It's not that I haven't heard about this exchange. It's just that I'm now reading it for myself, actually reading the words for myself. And something that sticks out to me is that in capital letters, in bold, well, in capital letters, he's saying, and when we type in capital letters, and he didn't do it throughout. So this says to me that this is him emphasizing where he says, Tim is after me or something. I didn't do nothing. I don't have nothing to do with any of this. I haven't even been on that side of town. But him just saying in bold and emphasizing, Tim is after me or something for something I didn't do, basically. It had nothing to do with. And just seeing that he knows that, and him even saying here to Miss Robbie that she's saying, you lied to me, in her message, basically, you lied to me saying that you were in St. Louis when you knew you weren't. And then he states here, he said that because he didn't know who was around her. And he did that because he knows that Tim is after him. So basically, I lied to you about where I was because I don't know basically who you sharing these messages with. It's deep, but let's read on. Let's read on. I want to come to no conclusions without reading it all. So let's see. Okay, so now let's go to what Miss Robbie responded in her text message reply. And she says, I called you right back. You say you gonna take the test and you disappear. What would you think you say you're in St. Louis now? You say you ain't. So this is her replying to him saying why he lied about being in St. Louis when he actually wasn't at the time. So then Andre responds, y'all say my phone tapped. I don't want people coming looking for me. I'm telling you, Grandma, I didn't do none of this and I'm protecting myself. But if you need me to come in town, I can. But when I do, I'm coming in town for 1 day and I'm leaving back out, just taking the test. And that's all. Like I said, I'll take the test, but I'm not just about to be sitting in St. Louis when I know Tim got people looking for me. That's, it's like, I don't know. My brain is processing all of this because it's like she wasn't listening to Andre, like she wasn't paying any attention to that piece of it. She was dead set on like, and basically it just seems like she didn't believe him as well. And so she's like, whatever with all that other stuff, all I care about is you going to the police department. But let's, okay, I'll get my commentary after. Because we had another piece here. So on March 8th, so that was in June of 2015. So that was like 9 months prior to this situation here. So then on March 8th of 2016, only 6 days before Andre's life was taken, and 2 days after the flight records established that he had returned to St. Louis, Andre sent the following message to Miss Robbie. So Andre says, I'm in town. When can we take the test? Miss Robbie then responded, I'll set it up for today. I'll call you back. Text me a number. So as we can see here, 9 months later, basically, Andre then does come to St. Louis. He had said in that original message that he would only come in for 1 day, take the test and leave, the polygraph test and leave. And I really wish that's exactly, well, maybe that was his plan, because now we do know that when he came and took the test originally, he was under the influence of marijuana, and they wanted him to come back and retake the test when he wasn't under the influence. So when we look at it, had he been able to follow through with his original plan, he probably would have been back out of St. Louis prior to. It was the delay or him having to retake the test which kept him there basically as a sitting duck. It's sad. And for me, this also speaks to when we saw this unfold on the show, on the Welcome to Sweetie Pie series, when they did the visual and Miss Robbie testified even, or gave her speech even. And there was a lot of conversation of her even saying, We know this was a setup. We know he had to know the person because Andre wouldn't go outside for someone he didn't know. All of these things, all of the stuff that we heard after the fact. Being as though Andre we heard through the rumor mill that he had already told other relatives that if something happens to me, Tim did it. We now know for a fact, based on these legal documents, that he also texted this to his own grandmother. And it looks like from this exchange, she never even responded to that piece of it at all. She just ignored it. But when his life was actually taken, did it never cross her mind that her son was responsible? Like, I'm just wondering her state of mind when it comes to this. I know, Lord, I know that there's a lot of conversation. I've seen a lot in the comments, et cetera, et cetera. We know that there's, the pending defamation lawsuit, and all of those things. And I'm just very curious. And I'm curious that once this trial is over, will we ever get Miss Robbie's version of her state of mind throughout this entire process? Not only this whole leading into after her home was broken into and trying to figure out who did it, and Andre being one of the suspects and all of that, but then also after the aftermath of Andre's life being taken and the communication she had with him, where he even admitted that, hey, your son is after me. My uncle, my very own uncle, is after me, and he got people looking for me. And I'm afraid to come in town and hang out in St. Louis and be there too long because I'm afraid of what he may do to me. What's happening? Like, where's your mind? What's happening? And I don't know, because her reputation is absolutely taking a hit from all of this. And this doesn't help. Like, we got to keep it real. This doesn't help. Is she going to then, as damage control when she can talk? Because the truth is she cannot talk. Like, this to me shows she can't talk. And this is probably a lot of the reason why she has been quiet about saying anything but the fact that she's gonna, she's like being in a bad marriage with her son and she's there to death do their part and all this other foolishness. So, yeah, I'm interested to see if Miss Robbie is ever going to tell her version of what has occurred through this based on this, because some damage control is going to be needed after this because of this, because people know about it already. I'm updating some of y'all who don't know. But anyway, moving forward with this, the United States position with trying to submit this into evidence for this trial is that they're basically trying to say, although we can't say that this is, basically truth, it's the only thing that we can work with as far as Andre, because he's not here to tell his own story, but they have text messages. And so they provided other legal case law examples of other cases that were similar, where people's lives were taken and they had journal entries, diary entries, etc., where they spoke about their potential perpetrator who ended up being the person that eventually took their lives. And those journal entries, those diary entries, were able to be entered into evidence. And so they're saying this is even more valid than a journal or diary entry, because this is a real-time communication between Andre and his grandmother, where he's expressing his fears and how he feels and his thought process. In addition, this is also pointing to the whole reason why Andre came to St. Louis in the first place, was to take the polygraph test under the urging of his grandmother, Miss Robbie. And his text message exchange with his grandmother, Miss Robbie, proves that point. Additionally, they're saying that Andre's statements are admissible to show defendant Norman's intent. It says, in addition to being admissible to prove Andre's plan, motive, state of mind, and intent, Andre's communication are admissible to establish defendant Norman's motive to take the life of Andre. It then says numerous circuit courts have held that a victim's statement of then existing mental states are admissible in order to establish the defendant's motive to take the life of the victim. And then it goes on to say that supposedly Tim's belief that Andre had something to do with the burglary, whether that's his real belief or something that he put out there in order to create this situation for others to get involved, also proves that Tim had a motive to want to have the life of Andre taken. And then lastly, the United States is asserting that using Andre's written testimony is not in violation of the confrontation clause, which is the position that Tim and his attorneys are taking. And in simple terms, the confirmation clause is found in the Sixth Amendment, provides that in all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to be confronted with the witnesses against him. The clause was intended to prevent the conviction of a defendant upon written evidence, such as depositions or ex parte affidavits. And so what they're saying, Tim's position, or his attorney's position, his team's position with this is that usually you can't have just written testimony without the defendant being able to cross-examine, basically. And so their position is, because this is written from Andre and he cannot be cross-examined, then it should not be admissible. However, what the United States is saying is that they're not trying to present it as fact as much as trying to show Andre's state of mind and the reason why he was in St. Louis in the first place and all of his reservations about being there, etc. And so we'll see from a legal perspective how that piece of it goes. I wanted to bring this to all of you because, you know, we got to see the actual text message exchange. It has been enlightening to me to see the actual words. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think in the comments below. I am in this moment overwhelmed with thoughts. And so I can't quite articulate. I'm overwhelmed with feelings more than thoughts, I think. So I got to get through the feelings in order to get through the thoughts in order to share them with you guys. But I know some of you are ready, ready, willing, and able. So in the comments below, let me know what you guys think about this. And, you know, we'll come back with more. There are a few other videos because we got other pieces of text messages that have been revealed as well as other things related to this very large brief. And so with that, I'm going to try to rest my voice again so that I can come back and hopefully be in full voice, because it's kind of irritating that as soon as I get into it, I start feeling the burning in my throat. But with that, I just wanted to come to you guys again. If you made it to this point, please like the video below, subscribe if you haven't. Please also remember to join our VIP text community to get notifications of when I upload new videos, as well as some behind the scenes things here or there. So with that, until next time, until I upload the next video, make sure to take care and be blessed. Peace.
Hey, popping like I'm supposed to. Watch out for the people that ain't close to. Speak a little something you could toast to. I ain't tryna hear about what you won't do. Moving like I'm into. Hit the ground running like the rain do. Speak a little something that you're into. I ain't tryna hear about what you been through. Like hold up, say what's the hold up. I got the pack, who got the roll up. I'm tryna pull up. It seem like every time I show up, it gotta go up. See the drip, they see the glow up. Oh, now they know us. See, it's funny how my pockets out of shape, but I'm fit for the flex. Clear the phone call, hit my chick with a text. Parlay through the bird with my drip from the jets. Save a couple hundred by your with the rest.